Wait, don't scroll. Something shifted in the heavens the very second you opened this. You didn't even notice it. But the moment your eyes reached here, an angel whispered, "Finally, they arrived." God has been trying to connect with you for a long time. You feel it often, don't you? That unusual tug inside your spirit, that soft tap on your heart. But this moment is different. Archangel Michael has been waiting exactly 49 minutes to tell you what is coming next. However, if you ignore this once more, if you close it like you did before, something extremely important could disappear without a trace. You assume skipping this is harmless, but what if I told you heaven literally paused time for you so this message would reach you right where you are sitting right now? Many people overlook these hints, but you were chosen to see this specific message, not accidentally, not coincidentally, but by divine timing. Something is going to unfold in your life that no one warned you about. And Michael says it's arriving sooner than you expect. Let me ask you something. Do you know how many nights God watched you cry silently and kept quiet only because he was waiting for this moment? You ask for signs, yet the second they show up, you rush past them. Please don't hurt God by skipping this again. Don't break his heart today. He has been setting something up for you, something extraordinary, something heavenly. But it depends entirely on what you choose to do in the next few minutes. Michael says, "Beloved, I've witnessed your soul hurting. I know you are exhausted, but you don't even recognize how near you are to the shift you begged heaven to bring. There is a reason this came to you now. Maybe your heart has been feeling strange recently, like change is approaching. Maybe last night you couldn't sleep because your spirit already sensed this moment. That feeling wasn't your imagination. It's real, and it's happening quicker than you realize. If you get chills while reading this, that isn't just the breeze. That's heaven confirming this message belongs to you. And if your soul feels like crying, it's because a forgotten memory inside you is waking back up. God is whispering something into your spirit right now. Can you hear it? No? That's all right. Michael's here to deliver the translation. He says, "Your name was written in a golden record just 49 minutes ago. A divine decision was made about you without your awareness. That is why this message couldn't wait. That is why God pushed it right into your path. Because what's about to take place will change your future in a way you could have never predicted. You may not realize it, but someone from your past, yes, that person, is thinking about you right now. They don't understand why, but their spirit is unsettled. Heaven is stirring their heart because something between you two was never completed." Michael says, "You weren't meant to cross paths again until the right moment, and now that moment has arrived. I want you to pause, breathe, look around. Does it feel like the atmosphere has shifted just a bit? That isn't nothing. That is spiritual tension. Angels are gathered around you right now. One is even positioned behind your left shoulder. Don't turn around. Just trust they are guarding you because tonight a transformation will begin. Before you go any further, take a moment to subscribe or follow because Archangel Michael still has more to reveal. And this isn't the only message. Missing the next one could mean missing a miracle. You weren't meant to scroll past this. That's why your screen didn't freeze this time. That's why you weren't interrupted. Heaven made sure your attention locked in. Do not dishonor that divine alignment. Something is approaching the door of your life, spiritually, emotionally, even physically. And if you're not alert, you will overlook it. Michael says, "A courier from heaven is on the way. You can't see them, but they've already departed." I know this sounds intense, but think about why you've been feeling so uneasy lately. Why the mix of fear and excitement, like something massive is on its way but you can't explain it. That is spiritual awakening. And Michael says, you are no longer the person you once were. You are evolving rapidly. That's why certain people left. That's why emotions have felt heavy. Because your next season has arrived, God isn't angry with you. But his heart has been heavy. Heavy because you keep ignoring the very messages created to heal you. Heavy because you claim you want change, yet run from the path that brings it. Heavy because he's trying to open a door while your hands still clutch a lock that no longer works. This message is your divine key. And if you release it now, you will enter a room overflowing with answers. Let me reveal this. Michael shares that within the next 7 days, something will unfold that might initially feel chaotic, like a sudden storm, fast, unexpected, and disorienting. But it isn't an attack. It's a divine correction, a sacred shift. A door will slam shut so forcefully that it will shake your entire world. But that's only because something far more powerful is waiting behind another door, one you may have forgotten even existed. You're not imagining things when it feels like something is observing you. You're not going crazy for hearing faint voices at night or repeatedly dreaming of the same individual. These aren't mere coincidences. This is your spiritual awareness activating. Archangel Michael says that their soul has been calling out your name in your sleep, and if you've been awakening between 3 and 4 a.m., now you understand why. Pay close attention. Someone is about to reach out, maybe through a message or a call. What they say may seem ordinary on the surface, but beneath their words lies something deeper. A revelation, a truth, a hidden confession that changes everything. You must stay open, because if you shut down too fast, you'll miss what was really meant for you. Heaven has shifted timelines to give you another opportunity. Originally, you weren't meant to be offered this chance again, but Michael pleaded with God for one more opening. And God agreed. But only if you respond, only if you allow your spirit to open and let this message enter your heart, not just your screen. Someone in the heavens keeps repeating your name, a loved one, a soul who held deep love for you. They are watching now and had a hand in making sure this message reached you. That's why this moment feels so familiar. That's why your chest feels so heavy right now. That feeling isn't sorrow. It's a spiritual reunion. You have not been overlooked. You are being made ready. And the time has come. Thank you. Now, inhale slowly, because what's coming next will touch a part of your soul deeper than anything you've read this entire year. Let Archangel Michael guide you through this very second. He is beside you, not as fantasy, but as an unseen reality. His wings are wrapped around your energy, and he is quietly speaking into your spirit. You don't even realize that you're standing right at the edge of a miracle. Yes, a miracle. And not an ordinary one. This is a miracle that was held back for years because you weren't prepared for it until now. But recently, something within you shifted. A few days ago, you might have felt slightly more emotional, more vulnerable, more tuned in. That wasn't a coincidence. That was your spiritual vision starting to awaken. You weren't meant to read this message until that part of your being was ready to receive. Heaven has been rearranging the timeline of your life to give you another shot. You weren't supposed to receive this opportunity again. But Michael begged God to open the door one more time for you. And God said yes, but only if you respond, only if you open your spirit and let this message reach your heart, not just your screen. There's someone in heaven who keeps mentioning your name over and over, a relative, a soul you loved deeply. They are watching and they help this message get to you. That's why it feels familiar. That's why your chest feels heavy right now. It's not sadness, it's a spiritual reunion. You were not forgotten. You are being prepared. And now it's time. Thank you. Now breathe slowly, because what comes next is going to reach deeper into your soul than anything you've read this year. Let Archangel Michael guide this moment. He's standing beside you, not in fantasy, but in unseen truth. His wings are spread around your energy, and he's whispering to your spirit. They don't realize they're standing at the edge of a miracle. Yes, a miracle. And not just any miracle, but one that was delayed for years because you were never ready before now. But something shifted recently. A few days ago, maybe you felt a little different, more emotional, more sensitive, more aware. That's not random. That was your spiritual eyes opening. You weren't supposed to see this message until that part of you had awakened. Archangel Michael says, "Beloved, what if I told you that something you cried for last year is finally about to show up, but it's wearing a disguise?" That's why this moment matters. Because what's arriving in your life won't look like a blessing at first. In fact, you may be tempted to reject it. But Michael is begging you, don't dismiss it too fast. The person, the opportunity, the change, it's wearing heaven's signature. And you must discern it when it comes. Have you ever been so close to something good and then it all fell apart? That wasn't failure. That was spiritual protection. You weren't rejected. You were rerouted. Because had that thing remained, it would have dimmed your light. And God never intended to lose the true version of you. That's why so many individuals walked away. That's why countless doors slammed in your face. Because heaven understood that you were made for something far beyond what you were settling for. Right now, the angels remain quiet yet fully alert. Your spirit is listening in a way it hasn't before. Today, you're receptive. That's rare. That's powerful. When the soul listens instead of the ego, that's when God's voice becomes clearest. And Michael is attempting to share something that very few will ever truly hear. The storm you're going through isn't to crush you. It's to wake you up, because something has been kept from you for too long. There is someone who's been concealing their emotions for years, not just days. They've observed from afar. They've held their truth inside, gripped by fear. But soon, heaven will compel them to finally speak. Their voice will shake. Their eyes may well with tears, but their words will move you deeply. Be still, stay aware, be spiritually sharp, because all that they've suppressed is about to pour out. Michael says, "This soul has dreamed of you more times than you can imagine. Every time they wake up, they want to tell you, but always hold back. That's why you sense them out of nowhere. That's why certain songs feel like memories rather than just melodies. That's why your chest feels tight without explanation, because their soul is reaching for yours. And now let's talk about money for a moment. God sees the stress you carry. You show strength to the world, smiling outwardly, but he sees your trembling hands behind closed doors. But Michael declares this boldly: money will no longer dominate your peace. Heaven is orchestrating a financial breakthrough, but it won't come in the way you expect. Something unusual is about to enter your path, something hidden, subtle, quiet. A letter, a deal, a conversation, a call. It might seem insignificant at first, but that single moment will unlock far more than you envision. You will look back at this exact message and realize, that was my confirmation. Don't give up now. Not when your name was just spoken aloud in a divine meeting 49 minutes ago. Yes, your full name. And in that sacred gathering, God smiled and said, "My child still believes in love." That one sentence shifted everything, because heaven only fast-tracks miracles for those who still believe, even if only a flicker of hope remains. And you, yes you, still hold that spark, even in moments of self-doubt, even when exhaustion creeps in. Michael sees your inner glow, and he's prepared to defend it. Now, pay close attention. What I say may sound unusual, but your spirit will understand it. You are not delusional for talking to the sky when no one is around. You are not imagining things when you feel like someone is watching you in solitude. You are not wrong for feeling as though time itself is bending around your experience lately. You are transforming. You are being summoned. The reason your heart feels pulled in opposite directions is because heaven is separating the real from the fake. Yes, some people are about to exit your life quickly, but don't plead with them to stay. They were simply part of the preparation, not the final destination. Release them gently. There is someone approaching your life soon who will love you with such truth that it might scare you at first, frighten you, not because it's bad, but because you're unfamiliar with peace. But Michael assures you this soul was made in alignment with your spirit's shape. That's why the connection will feel otherworldly, because it is. Don't force it. Don't pursue it. Just remain receptive. Be compassionate. Be mindful. Heaven is sending something that doesn't need to be chased. It will arrive naturally. And if you're still reading this, it means you were chosen. Yes, you. Not everyone was destined to find this message. Not everyone has the grace to sit through something this spiritually deep. But you did. That proves your heart hasn't hardened. That shows God can still work miracles through you. That confirms Archangel Michael has been waiting for you to arrive at this very instant so he can whisper this truth into your spirit. You are not late. You are not too damaged. You are not too anything. You are exactly on time. And here's something else Michael needs you to know. Someone will soon reach out, acting like everything is fine, but their energy won't match their words. Trust your instincts. Beneath their pleasant tone lies something unspoken. Don't be afraid. Just stay alert. Heaven will guide you to the right words at the exact moment. And now before you go, God awaits your response, not through a dramatic move or a grand display, but in a small, honest moment. If this message reached you, don't let it drift away unnoticed. Whisper something back to God. Even the quietest prayer echoes loudly in heaven. Even a tear becomes a melody to the angels. Just let him know. I received it. I'm ready. I have faith because this is the turning point. The gates are swinging open, the angels are observing, and everything is shifting. Thank you for staying through this message. That action alone reveals something profound. Your soul is attentive, and Archangel Michael is still near, still present to finish what heaven initiated. The closing section of this divine revelation is where the miracle seals itself, where what was prophesied becomes intimate and your life stirs again as heaven brushes your spirit. Archangel Michael now turns slowly, his wings spread wide like golden flames, shielding your future from forces that once tried to shackle it, and in his final glance toward you, he utters a truth that tears through the veil. This wasn't a caution. This was a calling, and you answered. That's what sets you apart. Others witnessed the signs and kept scrolling. Others felt the tug but chose disbelief. But you heard the whisper and leaned closer. You listened, you trusted, you said yes. And now, heaven is blessing you in ways your imagination hasn't yet caught up with. What's coming defies logic. You'll receive messages labeled approved. You'll stumble upon documents once lost with your name on them. You'll hear unexpected apologies. You'll notice the air in your home shift, heavier in peace, lighter in confusion, because the atmosphere is reacting to your alignment. And beloved, never again will you walk in fear. Never again will you plead for understanding. Never again will you shrink to fit into places you've spiritually outgrown. You are rising, you are awakening. You now carry the living proof of a heavenly promise. So tonight, when the silence of the world settles in, do this. Light a candle, shut your eyes, lay your hand on your heart and softly say to God, "Thank you for trusting me with what others cast aside. I am ready. I accept this, and I will never again bypass my miracle." Then listen closely, because you might hear Michael's voice once more, not in loudness, but in quiet, and it might sound like this. You've made it. We've been waiting. Now the scroll is sealed, the message complete, the angels are singing, and your new life, it has already begun. And now, beloved, as the sky above begins to shimmer with newfound intent, and the space between the heavens and earth radiates with golden breath, Archangel Michael speaks once again, not with urgency or warning, but with a calm that echoes forever. His voice now holds the sound of resolution, of a destiny fulfilled, of your name, written, spoken, and safeguarded in the language of the angels. Because you did not simply hear this message, you embodied it. You became it. You are the walking scroll now, the miracle in motion, the whispered answer to prayers offered long ago by someone no longer here, but never forgotten. They always believed you'd reach this day. That's why they trusted the angels. That's why they trusted Michael. That's why they believed in you. Because they recognized something in your spirit that others overlooked. And heaven? Heaven never missed it. You may still feel unworthy at times, too broken, too unsure, too far behind. But Michael declares now and forever, there is nothing wrong with you. You are simply waiting for the right time. And this was your moment. The final inheritance isn't an object. It's a truth, a divine remembering, a sacred awakening that reminds you, you are loved, you are safe, you are home. And now that ache you've carried for so long, it begins to dissolve, that shame buried deep within. It starts to release, that burden you were never meant to carry. It's being lifted even now because you opened this message, and that single act rewrote the story. Heaven is already shifting things behind the curtain. People are awakening with your name on their spirit, feeling an urge to reach out. Documents are finding envelopes at just the right time. Keys are being moved closer to your grasp. You will begin to feel sheltered in places that once drained you. You will be drawn to the very things that align with your divine self. Because your inheritance was never solely about receiving, it was about transforming, becoming who your ancestors once prayed you would be, becoming the version of yourself who no longer shrinks, becoming the reason generations after you will never endure the pain you did.